Joe Biden winning the U.S. presidential election could be the saving grace the UK government needs to accomplish a full post-Brexit trade deal with the U.S., according to an American economics correspondent. Joe Biden's desire to be the antithesis of rival Donald Trump may make it easier for a U.S. trade deal to be secured, an expert has claimed. The Spectator's economics correspondent, Kate Andrews, spoke to LBC about what the consequences for Brexit could be if the Democratic candidate was to win the U.S. presidential election. She claimed that ousting the incumbent American leader could go a long way to reducing fear-mongering regarding a joint trade deal. Mrs. Andrews said, "I actually think that there's a better chance of the UK getting a free trade deal with Joe Biden in the White House. Trump talks about liking the UK, we know he doesn't like trade deficits, there isn't a meaningful one with the US. But for all of this talk, he hasn't really shown favoritism in the 4 years he's been in the Oval Office towards the UK. And we know he is very nervous about trade deals overall." She continued, "And I suspect that Joe Biden wanting to be the antithesis of Trump is going to extend the hand back to the European Union but also potentially to the UK. I also think in terms of the fear-mongering that goes on in the UK around a US-UK free trade deal, it's much harder to scare people with Joe Biden's free trade deal. You're not selling off the NHS to Joe Biden, you're not lowering food standards with Joe Biden. It doesn't come off the tongue in the same way that Trump does." The expert added, "I think it's going to be easier to sell in the UK with Joe Biden, possibly easier to get given his attitude towards free trade. I would also throw in that I think there's a chance that even if you don't get that bilateral trade agreement, if Biden wants to go for CPTPP or wants to jump into that ASEAN free trade deal and the UK does as well, then we could be in a multilateral free trade deal together. So I think there are lots of options there." However, not everyone agreed with her take, with writer James Delingpole claiming a deal was more likely under President Trump. He warned LBC that Mr. Biden will want to do what all the globalists and the EU want to do, which is to punish Britain for seeking independence from the shackles of the European Union. He also insisted that the current US leader clearly loves Britain because of his Scottish mother and his golf courses. Mr. Delingpole added, "I think we don't reciprocate the love. Our prime ministers tend to be much more standoffish towards Trump than he is to them. I think Trump is far more likely to give us a deal to stick it to the globalists."